I've just been diagnosed with ADSE, Attention Deficit Shard Event. Hello, everyone. Bront, CatHerder here. We're having some fun talking Raid Shadow Legends, and much like a dog chasing a squirrel, I see a shard event, and I've got to go for it. In reality, I don't have to go for this, but we have a 1+1 extra legendary on ancient events or ancient shards, and I am well within Mercy, where I will hit Mercy with the amount of shards I have here. I'm close enough where I shouldn't have to pull anywhere near all of these shards, hopefully. I think it's worthwhile going for it on my account. Now, on my alt, I am not close. I think I'm like 5 or 6 after pulling a legendary, maybe 10, and I've only got like 50 shards there. So I am definitely not doing it on my alt. I also am not going for the fusion, so I'm not endangering the hero's path that's going to be starting tomorrow, that's going to feature shards and probably dungeon divers. So pull your shards responsibly. If you're not going to risk anything, then go for it. If you decide you want to take a chance, understand that if you don't know where your mercy is, there's a chance you may not get a legendary. And if you know where your mercy is and you can't make it, well, it's certainly up to you. I like to pull on these events. I think the 1+1s are great. To be fair, with Epic Empowerment, I think that it might be worth it to save more shards for 2x events until you've kind of empowered all the epics you need to.
Meow, 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 meow.
And apparently somebody followed my YouTube. Appreciate whoever did that, or liked my YouTube, or subscribed to it. I think it's subscribe. Definitely appreciate that. Let me get that indicator off. And, you know, it's, you see, I've got attention deficit chart event. I've been derailed. Well, regardless, make the best decision for you and your account. And whichever decision you decide to make, whether it's spend or not, whether it's pull or not, as long as you're happy with it, that's the important part. Because this is ultimately a game. It's not real life. It's not the most important thing. And you should be having fun in a game. So, with all that said, and all that wonderful distraction, and ooh, there's a squirrel. I have a Pepsi. We are ready to pull. Pepsi, there we go. And all right, I am hopeful. I would love a duplicate Harima. I would love a Herndig, because I have never had a Herndig. He would be kind of cool. There's honestly quite a few of the regular legendaries that I would like. Obviously, they're not as good as the Voids. They're not as good as the Mythics. But there's plenty of really, really, really good legendaries out there that I would absolutely love that would help my account. I would take any of them, and I'm fine with one good and one bad as well. You know, there's a chance I get two bad, and I'll make the best of it if that's what happens too. So let's get pulling. All right, Pepsi, do not let me go. Prayers to RN Jesus. Thank you very much. We have paid our dues. And Polarium, I'm watching you. You're going to make this right. You're going to make up for this week by giving me really cool legendaries. Let's go. All right. And this is okay. Ursine Ironhide. I like the bear. He does some decent damage in Faction Wars. He's certainly been power crept. He's okay. He's fine. You may need to book him, but he works fine at 50 in Faction Wars. Other than that, nothing particularly exciting. Alrighty. Rare text, which is going to happen a couple times in this video because it is not a 2x. And as I said that, we've been rare text twice. So that means legendary this next 10 pull. Correct? Correct, Polarium? Alrighty. Wow, 30. Wow. That is over 30. That's 31 legendary, 31 rares. It's since an epic. That's impressive. 3 in a row. Come on, Polarium. We can do this. There's Allure. Very good champion. Grimskin. Okay. We're looking for legendaries, though. Sir Armage, aka Mr. Daggerpants. Other than Allure, hasn't been a lot of epics that are really worth empowering even, which is kind of sad. I do actually need some of these chickens as well. I've got lots of food that I need to train, and chickens help as well. So, Polarium's helping out. The Polarium is definitely looking out for me by giving me rares. That's the story I'm going with right now, right? Zelatoa, he's okay early. I wouldn't build him past 5 stars. Oh, come on. Where are we at now? All right. So we are well within Mercy. So let's go. I actually should have just done these one at a time, but that's fine. There's the legendaries. That is a Pinthroy and an Elegias. Now, I believe that is my second Pinthroy, so that'll be Faction Guardian. That'll be good. I do not know if I've got an Elegias. Pinthroy's not bad. He's certainly not been like super meta, but honestly, I think a 9-piece protection, he could be kind of interesting. Attacks on enemy, transfer random debuff from this champion to the target. Chance of stealing a random buff from the target as well. That's actually not too bad in Hydra. Places a 50% increase accuracy, then attacks all enemies, places heal reduction buffs and block buffs. Very, very good. Champions from some factions cannot resist these debuffs. Needs to be booked, but 3-turn cooldown block buffs. Again, heal reductions, not horrible. I mean, not something you really need on Hydra, but, can't hurt. That means he actually, go back to this, this means he actually might be interesting for Amius. So, that's a reason to actually build him. And then he's got increased defense and a pretty chunky shield along with a chunky heal. I kind of wish this might also have been a cleanse, but maybe that's getting a little too greedy. But massive heal and a massive shield. Does have to have 4 more allies alive to place the shield, which is really weird. I wish they'd get rid of this. And a 4-turn cooldown. Yeah, this really kind of needs a little more. And I think that's kind of why he's just kind of meh. But 2 buffs there, 1 buff there. That's 3 buffs for a protection set. So 9-piece protection. Probably be still pretty decent. And then he removes all decreased defense buffs and weakened debuffs from this champion at the start of every turn. That's really kind of bland. So he's not bad. Definitely going to keep your team alive if that's what you're looking for. He's definitely not very endgame because there are several places in his kit where I can see that there are other champions that are just straight up better. So, but not too bad. Although I cannot help but wonder if he's really just like a tiny dude right here, and then he controls the rest of this with like mechanics or something like that, because that's just kind of how big this outfit is. Elgaius, on the other hand, I believe Elgaius actually is a dude. Everyone calls him a girl, but I can't remember the lore off the top of my head. It might be maybe it's just she, but High Priest or High Priestess. Lore is really cool. The kit, not so much. Attacks one enemy, 25% chance of placing block active skills for 1 turn. Chance increases by 0.75% for every 1% of the AP the champion loses. Attacks one enemy, puts the target skills on cooldown, and places block buffs for 2 turns. This is kind of meh. It's a single person lockout. 3-turn cooldown, so it's not bad, but single person locked out that spreads to duplicate champions. It's really kind of weird. I would actually love to see something like this be an AoE. It might have to go up on a higher cooldown then at that point, because 3-turn cooldown would be kind of gross. But Elgaius needs a buff. It's just this is good in Faction Wars. It's really good in Faction Wars. This locks out all the Valkyries completely for 3 turns. So yeah, that's pretty good. But overall, just not great. Attacks all enemies, 75% chance of removing 2 random buffs. That's not too bad. Again, anti-Valkyrie wave. 75% chance increasing all enemies' turn meters by 20%. Decreases an extra 10% for that. This is not bad either. A 4-turn cooldown. Yeah, I mean, Again, I really actually think that Elgaeus could be better if this was an AoE and you probably added a turn or two cooldown for this instead, because I think you need a 4-turn. Otherwise, this would actually be probably better than Warlord. Passive prevents this champion's death and keeps them alive 1 HP when hit. If the skill prevents the champion's death, then heals them by 30% of their max HP, fills their turn meter by 30%, and places a shield buff on them equal to 30% of their max HP for 2 turns. So why Elgaeus is annoying in waves, because Elgaeus revives and suddenly hits a bunch of stuff. Will not prevent champion's death. They under heal reduction, which is an interesting little side effect, usefulness of the heal reduction as well. And it's got a 5-turn cooldown, bookable to 4. Not particularly exciting. Let's go take a look at this quickly. So we pulled 100 shards, which is fine. I'm actually mostly full at this point in time, but I've got a bunch of food now. Stop it. Go here to Faction Guardians. So I know my undead is full, but did I have an Elgaeus in here? I do. So that gives me interesting opportunities to empower one of these people instead. Actually, empowering Morrigan may not be a bad option. I really like Crypt Crane Grawl as well, but I'm not really using him too much anymore. So yeah, I think for now we're going to actually pop you in there. And that'll let me empower Morrigan, so that's good. And then Pinthroy is Sacred Order. Was that a Pinthroy? That was. All right, so that is plus 10% defense on all of my Sacred Order champions. That is pretty cool. I'm that much closer to speed, so that's awesome. So, not necessarily champions I'm going to find a lot of use of, but, 2 legendaries that actually helped my account. And so that's awesome. So hopefully your pulls go well. Hopefully you get legendaries early and often, I guess. And and if you're not pulling, well, good luck if you're pulling this weekend or the next time you're shard pulling. Grab a Pepsi, not a sponsor. And, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Appreciate all the support. Love you all. Take care. Until the next time, I'm Bront CatHerder.